let's continue with our Merchant of Venice, Act 5. Okay, now in our previous class we saw that Bassanio along with his friends have reached Belmont. Okay. Now, Bassanio speaks to Portia, says, "We should hold day with the antipodes if you would walk in the absence of the sun." First of all, let me explain to you what is the meaning of antipodes. Antipodes are places which are exactly opposite to each other. Therefore, if place A and place B are at antipodes, then what happens when place A is having 12 o'clock afternoon, then place B will have 12 o'clock night. Okay. So, if you would walk in the other side of the earth, that is, then they would also have day with us. I hope you understood. This means that Portia is so bright, Portia is so cheerful that she is here compared to the sun. So it is, if it is night in the opposite side and you enter there, you enter a room in the antipodes, then they will also have daytime with us. Fine. Now, Portia then says, "Let me give light, but let me not be light, for a light wife doth make a heavy husband." Here's a pun on the word light. So when Portia says, "Let me give light," means let me spread joy, but let me not be light. When a woman is light, means she is unfaithful to her husband. For a light wife, an unfaithful wife does make her husband heavy. Heavy means sad. Okay. "And never be Bassanio so for me. May Bassanio never be sad for me." Here you see how good a wife Portia is. "But God sought all," means God decides all. "You are welcome home, my lord." And then Bassanio says, "I thank you, madam. Give welcome to my friend. This is the man, this is Antonio, to whom I am indefinitely bound." So this is my good friend Antonio, to whom I am so infinitely indebted. And then Portia says, "You should in all sense be much bound to him, for as I hear, he was much bound for you. He was nearly a prisoner for you. Yes, he was in trouble because of you." Of course, Portia knows everything, but she pretends as if she wasn't there. And she says, "As I hear, as I have heard." Okay, now Antonio says, "No more than I am well acquitted of. I am no more a prisoner, I have been freed." And perhaps he also means that Bassanio has given him so much love, and Portia has shown her gratitude, and therefore he is completely repaid. Alright, now Portia says, "Sir, you are very welcome to our house." This she says to Antonio, "Welcome to our house. It must appear in other ways than words, therefore I scant this breathing courtesy." In other words, I will welcome you in other ways apart from just saying welcome, welcome. Now, Gratiano speaks to Nerissa. Gratiano says, "By yonder moon, by that moon, I swear you do me wrong." You are doing me wrong, you're doing me some injustice. "In faith, I gave it to the judge's clerk. Would he were dead that had it. For my part, since you do take it, love, so much to heart, I can promise you that I gave it only to the judge's clerk. And I wish that the judge's clerk dies because you are so angry about it." Okay, what do you think they are fighting about? I'm sure Nerissa has asked Gratiano, "Where is my ring?" And Gratiano says, "Well, I gave it to somebody." And then Nerissa says, "Well, why did you give it?" and this and that. And at that, Gratiano says, "I just gave it to the judge's clerk." Okay, Portia says, "A quarrel ho already? What's the matter?" At that Gratiano says, "About a hoop of gold, a paltry ring that she did give me, whose posy was, for all the world like Cutler's poetry, upon a knife, love me and leave me not." So Gratiano says, "We are quarreling about a hoop of gold." Hoop is something round, a ring. A paltry ring, a simple ring of nominal value, of trivial value, that Nerissa had given me, and the words. The word posy can mean poetry. Here it means words. Okay. and the words for all the world like Cutler's poetry, engraved upon metal, was love me and leave me not. Nerissa gets angry. Nerissa says, what talk you of the posy or the value? You swore to me, when I did give it to you, that you would wear it till your hour of death. Why are you talking about the value or about the poetry? When I gave you that ring, what did you promise me? You promised me that you will always wear it. Okay, though not for me, yet for your vehement oaths. Passionate, vehement is passionate. You should have been respective and have kept it. So Nerissa says, you should have worn that ring, not for me, but because of your own honor, you should have retained that ring. Give it to a judge's clerk? No, God's my judge. The clerk will never wear hair on his face that had it. You say you gave it to the judge's clerk? No, you gave it to a woman. A woman will not have a beard. So what is Nerissa accusing Gratiano of? Nerissa is accusing Gratiano of having an affair with a woman and giving away her ring to that woman. Please keep that in mind. They often ask you this. Then Gratiano says, he will, and if he lived to be a man. Of course the judge's clerk will have a beard if he grows up to be a man. If he dies when he is a boy, naturally he will not have a beard. Nerissa says, if a woman lived to be a man, how will a girl grow up to be a man? How will a woman grow up to be a man? Gratiano says, now by this hand I gave it to a youth, a kind of boy, a little scrubbed boy, short boy, no higher than thyself, the judge's clerk, a prating boy, that begged it as a fee. I could not for my heart deny it him. So Gratiano says, I can promise you by my hand, I gave it to a youth, to a boy. A kind of boy, a short boy who is not taller than you, that is Nerissa. Now remember, Nerissa might get disguised as a man, but she cannot change her height. Therefore, the lawyer's clerk was as tall as Nerissa. Okay. Now, that was a prating boy, a talkative boy, who asked me for that ring as a fee, and I couldn't say no to him. Portia says, you were to blame. I must be plain with you. Plain means frank. To part so slightly with your wife's first gift, a thing stuck on with oaths upon your finger, and so riveted with feet unto your flesh. So it's your fault, Gratiano. Why did you part with your wife's first gift so easily? It should have been fastened on your finger. The ring should have been fastened on your finger. Yes? And you should have never parted with it. Okay. Then she goes on to say, I gave my love a ring and made him swear never to part with it. And here he stands. I dare be sworn for him. He would not leave it, nor pluck it from his finger, for the wealth that the world masters. I have also given my husband a ring, and I can assure you that he will never give away that ring so easily, even if you offer him the entire wealth of the universe. Okay. Now, in faith, Gratiano, you gave your wife too unkind a cause for grief, and to me, I should have been mad at it. So this is what Portia says. Portia says, Gratiano, if you had done the same to me, I would have been very angry. Okay, let's remain in suspense. Let's see how Bassanio will defend himself. We'll see that in the next class. Thank you.